Hey, Mark Rodriguez here. You're watching the Diving Cutter Wrestling Podcast, which is known as America's #2 best cure for insomnia. And with us are
Jack Knives from Jack Knives Reviews.
and Wendy. You want to do the thing even though you're off screen?
Rodriguez.
There we go.
Johnny Rodriguez.
All right, guys, we've been taking a break here and there from AEWs and the pay-per-views and whatnots, but the AEW Forbidden Door 2026 did seem a bit interesting, so we checked it out, and today we're going to be talking about that. But real quick, there's any wrestling news that you might know of, Mr. Jack? I do know that as of yesterday's episode of Dynamite, what was her name? Hikaru Shida became the new TBS champion, so that's kind of cool. Willow had to relinquish because she had some kind of injury, so they had to, the usual tournaments that Tony Khan loves so much. And yeah, Hikaru Shida won, so that's pretty cool. Any other things there, Jack?
There's a lot of different things happening all at the same time. It's beginning of tournament season, which is my favorite time of year. So the G1 Climax and the 5-Star Grand Prix, which are New Japan and New Japan and Stardom's biggest tournaments of the year. It's a round robin tournament similar to the Continental Classic, is basically just a ripoff of that. But the winner being basically the number one contender for the top show of their respective promotions. In the G1, there is an AEW representative, which will be Gabe Kidd, so he's going to be in it. There's going to be a bunch of people that are in the tournament, which are going to be great. But the other thing that has happened recently was there is a seemingly shift overhaul over in TNA, where a lot of the talent behind the scenes and the actual show itself is starting to get kind of a pull in a different direction, as they've let go of Tommy Dreamer, and just most recently they got rid of Tommy Dreamer. They've gotten rid of Steve Macklin. They've gotten Mike Santana's contract is up, and so is Eric Young. So Eric Young has apparently, according to the sheets, has been handpicked by Shawn Michaels to be a new head trainer over in NXT, which a head coach in NXT, which I'm like, makes sense. I mean, you need people to help develop characters. Who better than Eric Young? There's that. Most recently, Kendall Gray became the NXT Women's Championship, and probably I've watched all 4 shows that happened this past weekend, which was obviously Forbidden Door. It was Forbidden Door. It was Slammiversary, Night of Champions, and NXT's Great American Bash. And I could safely say the greatest women's match of that show was Kendall versus Levice. That if there was one match from that show, I highly recommend anyone watching. It's that one, the main event. I mean, outside of the scope of this show. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, it seems like they're. Oh, also the other new thing that's happening in TNA, they also announced that there is, for the first time ever, going to be a new Knockouts television champion. And they're going to Knockouts Women's Television Championship. And they're going to start a tournament there starting this Thursday, which by the time of this is airing, it's the first round will be tonight. It's 16 women, so I assume they're going to do probably cross-promotional thing. I don't know. So whoever will do that will be the inaugural Knockouts television champion. And like I said, it seems like they're shifting more towards a youth perspective, which I'm 100% behind. I feel like anyone whose age starts with a 4 and a 0, unless your job is to help transition the next generation, you should probably be out the door. But that's my opinion. And if your age starts at 5, you shouldn't even be there anymore.
Didn't Tessa get signed up somewhere? Some other wrestling company or something?
Yes, Tessa Blanchard was the other person who she requested her release, and she signed up with CMLL. So now she's in CMLL with their promotion because basically, from what I heard, they're basically going to book her more, because Tessa was kind of just like a random on-stage villain, but she wasn't like the top women's villain. So right now, it seems like the top women villains are the Elegance brand, which is Ash by Elegance and her group. But A second, close second is Zaya Brookside, and then third is probably what's her name? Elena Black. So she's also a good. They've been using her pretty well too right now.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much all the news I got so far. So far, that's all I got.
All right. So yeah, so we're gonna start the show here, and let me get my listings real quick. And as you guys can tell, we haven't been doing these, so we have no predictions or no nothing. We're just gonna go in there. So starting off with what they call the buy-in show, we had 3 buy-in matches, and they were pretty cool. They all had like cool guests and everything. The first match was Drilla Maloney versus Daniel Garcia. And yeah, decent match. Haven't really seen Daniel in a one-on-one in a while, and it was one-on-one. The what do you call it? The Death Riders were kind of there just to usher him in, but then they left, so there was no interference, no shenanigans. It was a decent match. At this point, I think we were basically getting our stuff ready. We ordered some pizza, some wings, so we were kind of preoccupied with that and everything. But I remember it was a pretty decent match for what it was and everything. And it's good to see Garcia, do his thing on his own and not with all the other, all the things.
Yeah, Drilla Maloney just recently became a heavyweight. So he was a junior, now he's officially a heavyweight. So this G1 will be his first one that he's ever in. So yeah, I'm glad that they used him properly. I think he did really well, getting to show off his skills and represent New Japan really well with Unbound Co. Yeah, I like the match. What'd you think, Johnny?
I like the match too. I don't remember like 100% about the matchup, but I did remember Drilla Maloney to be quite a wrestler, quite a powerhouse actually, quite a heavy hitter. And yeah, as much as I like Daniel Garcia, I mean, I don't think he just was no match against Drilla Maloney. I mean, his skills are phenomenal. So I pretty much enjoyed the match. And in terms of Daniel Garcia, I don't know what they're doing with him because I just gained the impression that he's losing more and more often. So it's kind of like not really a good look.
Like they don't really know what they're doing with him either. Like I think they
Yeah.
don't even know what to do with him. I think half the time they forget he's there.
Yeah,
And it doesn't help that he's a
kinda-
very it doesn't help that he's very kind of generic, that he doesn't have too much personality other than his dancing. He doesn't
Which he
really
doesn't even do anymore, so really he's got nothing.
Yeah, he doesn't really have much of a persona per se.
I mean, the thing
Yeah.
is, the most he had going was the like, will he, won't he join the Death Riders? I don't know why I keep forgetting their names, but now he's one of them. He just became another nameless stooge in the background. He's almost like not as bad as Wheeler Yuta, but kind of there.
Oh, I got a lot to say about the Death Riders, but I'll get to that later.
Oh boy.
Because some stuff's going on with them in Japan,
Oh,
which don't make any sense because it's like contradictory to AEW. But
but what has ever stopped Tony?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
So next one we had was Sky Blue going up against Micah. It's a TBS Championship Survival of the Fittest qualifying match. So basically, I guess if Micah either wins or pins her or something, I forgot the rules for this one. But basically, no, wait a minute. Oh, I see.
no,
Yeah.
no, you're right. You're right. It was a qualifier for, I guess they're doing a 6-way fight for the TBS title.
Ah, I see. That's the one that Hikaru Shida ended up winning in the long run. So
Yeah.
So once again, it was pretty cool in the way that Sky Blue came in, and there was no cheating from like Julia Hart or Thekla. She got to go on her own. And I don't remember the last time I've seen her in a one-on-one match. I think it's usually tag matches with Julia Hart and stuff. So or she's just in the background helping Thekla cheat. So it was cool to see her back in a one-on-one match. Micah's pretty cool. She had a cool look and style and everything, and they had some good moves and like holds and things like that. So it was pretty cool. It was a pretty decent match there.
Yeah, Micah is I think she's a Grand Slam in Stardom. Yeah, she's a Grand Slam in Stardom. Former world champion. She's won all the tag team titles. Yeah, her whole style is that she's strong. Like that's her whole thing is like strong style. She's just stronger than almost everyone else in Stardom. I'm glad that they let Micah actually get a spotlight, and I think she made Sky look as good as she could. Obviously, like their skill sets are totally different levels, but I'm glad that they got to actually use Micah proper. I kind of wish she had been more on the main show, but that's neither here nor there. But I thought it was a great match. I thought it was a good way to start. Both the first three matches, all three of the first matches were kind of a great way to start the show.
Yeah, I like this match too. I like Micah. I like her presentation, her fighting style. This is another, heavy hitter. As much as Sky Blue did what she did in the match, I think, she was no match against Micah. And it's just good. I think what this pay-per-view actually did well compared to the previous Forbidden Door is that they actually showcase the talent of the non AEW wrestlers to the max. They did a better job because I think in the other occasions they're just kind of like it felt more like an AEW event more than anything.
Right, and that was the biggest issue that why Yota Tsuji, the current IWGP Heavyweight Champion, that's why he boycotted the thing, because he literally he flat out said straight up like, you as a company do not have respect for us, so why should I, as the top champion of Japan, show you any respect by showing up to the freaking event? And I agree with it. I 100% agree, because he even said, like, pull up the track record of all the stuff. I mean, people forget Tanahashi, when he was still able to go, they had him job to MJF in 7 minutes. People forget that happened, but it did happen. Or how they had the IWGP World Champion when he was the World Champion, Sonata, and he was doing an open challenge. Of all the talent you could have had in AEW challenge him, they picked Jungle Boy.
Oh,
and I'm like, yep. And then, when your guy had the championship, John Moxley, because this people a little behind the scenes thing, Moxley got to handpick his opponent for Forbidden Door, and he picked Tetsuya Naito, who literally 3 months prior had been declared legally blind and had to get a full knee replacement surgery.
Oh, Jesus.
On both knees. So he deliberately chose a guy who was already not good to go, just so that way he could make himself look good. Yeah. Now, if he had gone against Zack Sabre Jr., he would have gotten his ass kicked. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, rant over.
Well, that's the thing too. I was telling Wendy like about like if the show's even interesting anymore. Because the bad thing is that by now, a lot of people like Takeshita and Okada and all them, they're like WWE. I'm sorry, they're AEW guys now. They're no longer like the guest stars and that kind of thing. But then when I saw the pre-show, I did see that Micah was there. I'm like, oh, I never heard of her. And they got Olympia there, and they got the other match coming up later on with Starlight Kid and Maya World and all that. So I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of interesting here. We got a couple of people that aren't the usual, so let's check that out.
Because that's how Forbidden Door was originally pitched. Was supposed to be, hey, this is an opportunity to show off some other talent and help them get over with our audience and our talent getting over working with them. Instead, it became, hey, let's get your toys to get their ass kicked by our toys. And I'm like, who wants to see that? Like, no one wants to see that shit. I'm like, it's so dumb. And then, like, now, this is the final Forbidden Door with New Japan. So it's even dumber that you're suddenly now showing them respect.
Did they officially say that, though? Like, it is, like, the final one with New Japan?
Yeah, basically, because New Japan now is owned by Cyberfight. So as of next year, New Japan is owned by Cyberfight, not Bushiroad. So they have, and the people who own Cyberfight own Pro Wrestling Noah. And since Pro Wrestling Noah has a working relationship with WWE,
oh, I see.
They ain't gonna let them work with them anymore.
Oh, wow.
But see, Stardom is still owned by Bushiroad, so Stardom will probably still have a working relationship. That's also why this last kind of other thing that happened 2 weeks ago on Ring of Honor, they had their Global Wars event. Global
Yeah.
Wars was the first ever crossover show that they created with New Japan. It was originally created with Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling, and then they had other promotions crossing over. But it started with the relationship with Ring of Honor and New Japan. This past one that just happened, Global Wars, is the first time they ever did a Global Wars that had no New Japan. It literally didn't have New Japan's symbol on the banner. It didn't say New Japan. It didn't mention New Japan. It just had CMLL and Stardom, and that was it. I'm like, that's probably what's going to happen with Forbidden Door. And y'all can get all bitter as you want, but New Japan has way more draw internationally than CMLL ever does.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So there's one hell of a podcast that we're reviewing, like the final Forbidden Door that has New Japan Pro Wrestling involved.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the third match we had for the buy-in, unfortunately, much to Wendy's dismay, there was no fat kid number one and no fat kid number two. The match is Divine Dominion, which is Megan Bayne and Lena Cross, going up against Thunder Rosa. We haven't seen her in a while, and Olympia. Tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, which of course the Divine Dominion are the current tag team champs. And yeah, I enjoyed the fight. It was pretty cool. I like Lena Cross's look and everything with the purplish hair. It's good to see Thunder Rosa again. I haven't seen her in a while and everything. And yeah, it was a pretty decent match. I remember being entertained by it, but I don't remember too much of like actual spots or anything. But I did like to see Thunder Rosa back in the ring. We haven't seen her. I don't think we've seen her in an actual AEW pay-per-view in a good long while. I mean, she makes appearances once in a while on the show and maybe like on Collision or Ring of Honor, but I don't think she's been in an AEW pay-per-view. And even then, it's like just a pre-show. But
She's been doing everything minus wrestling. It's kind of sad. Like for AEW, like it's funny because she's contracted to AEW, but she's barely ever wrestles there. Like I've seen apparently, like someone pointed out that she has wrestled like 30 times in the past year, with and 25 times has been with Ring of Honor, and I'm like, wow, that's sad.
The thing about her also is that she sometimes appears as those like, you know, like those one-time challengers. There's a champ, and all of a sudden, you know, so-and-so comes, I'm gonna challenge you for the belt, but it's not an actual feud. It's just they're challenging. They'll appear once or twice. The actual match happens, they lose, they banish, and everything. So she's been doing that sometimes.
It's the like, oh, it's like I challenge you. Insert title here. You're going down. Insert name here. Like that's like that. We know you weren't planning this shit. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, I haven't seen much of Olympia. She was the main reason I was kind of intrigued. I'm like, okay, she's pretty good. I kind of like her style. It's very crisp. Shibara's kind of either stick to ground mat wrestling or they're either just ground mat wrestling or they're kind of more like maybe occasionally in a crowd, but don't see that many do styles. But I liked the way it was. I thought it was a pretty decent match. What'd you think, Johnny?
I like the match, and concerning Thunder Rosa, didn't she just signed up a contract with CMLL? Oh, what's the name of that wrestling?
CMLL.
CMLL. No, you got it right.
The CMLL.
Hello?
Yeah, you got it right. You got it right the first time, Johnny.
So yeah, I think she just signed a contract with them. So it looks more like she's more with them than with AEW. So I don't know how I feel about that. I think that just like with Daniel Garcia, they kind of like don't know what to do with Thunder Rosa as well. And I think she just way too far apart AEW, especially if she signed a contract with CMLL. She's probably going to be more with them anyways, you know. Which hey, it's good for her anyways, right? I like the. I've seen a little bit of the CMLL matches here and there. So one time I did saw like a match with Olympia. So when I saw that Olympia's gonna be in this pay-per-view, it's like I'm watching it. I'm watching this. It was a really good match. It was cool seeing Thunder Rosa and Olympia as a tag team. And Megan Bayne, Elena Cross, oh my god, they're lethal. They're deadly. They're like I think they were really like beating the shit out of Thunder Rosa and Olympia. So it was a good match overall. It was an entertaining match. I just personally wish Thunder Rosa would just have a better promotion overall because I feel like either she's not too passionate about wrestling to that degree, with AEW, or it's AEW, they're not passionate with Thunder Rosa, and it's probably both things at the same time at this point. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Yep, that was a pretty good match, and that was like for the pre-show. And this is one of the times where I actually cared a lot about the pre-show because of the extra people that we don't normally see. So that was pretty cool because sometimes, it's just like, the pre-show's whatever, we don't care, or that's when we're getting our food or our guests are coming or whatever. So we kind of block it out, we kind of forget. In Johnny's case, he's probably still rushing home from work, stuff like that. But in this case, like with these extra people, it was exciting. I was interested to actually see the pre-show, and that was pretty good.